Update from the Gherkin. Hi, Joel.
Yeah, hello there. Royal Bank of Scotland has agreed to pay a fine of £390 million after admitting its staff attempted to rig the LIBOR interest rate. The bank's chairman, Sir Philip Hampton, has described today as a sad day for the bank. £87 million of the 390 will be paid to the regulators, the Financial Services Authority here in the United Kingdom. The balance will be paid to regulators in the United States. RBS says it will raise £300 million by reclaiming bonuses already paid out and by reducing future payouts. John Hurricane, meanwhile, head of RBS's investment bank, will leave at the end of the month. He's taken managerial responsibility for what happened. He's agreed to give up £4 million in share options. Speaking of shares, the bank's share price has barely budged today. It is up around 4p, as you can see there. Joining me now, the banking analyst, Chris Skinner. A hefty fine for Royal Bank of Scotland. RBS has said sorry, has promised change. Context is important here. This was the result of 21 staff have caused the bank all this grief in an organisation of almost 140,000 people. Few rotten apples?
Yes, it seems to be the case that it was all those involved in setting LIBOR across about 20 banks. Barclays, as you mentioned, got fined £290 million, slightly less than RBS have been fined, and they say that there's about 18 traders involved. RBS say 21 traders, so it is a small group of people involved that are now bringing down a lot of the reputation of the banks.
The chairman was keen to point out earlier when he met with our city editor that, OK, what went on was completely wrong. I mean, it's fraudulent and shouldn't have happened. But no one in the UK, whether they're a borrower or a saver or indeed a business here, has suffered as a result of what went on. Is that true?
Well, I can't fully agree with that, because otherwise that would say that LIBOR fixing was okay. And because obviously LIBOR does affect the rates of interest that everyone pays on mortgages, credit cards, loans, and businesses borrowing. So to say it has no impact is not true. It has.
So who are the
impact.
victims here then?
Well, the victims are primarily all of the markets that are paying interest on savings and borrowing, because the amount they're paying on savings and borrowing was slightly higher or lower than it should have been if this activity had not taken place.
How close do you think Royal Bank of Scotland came to losing its banking licence in the United States?
Well, I think after the precedent that was set by the previous fine of UBS, which was almost £1 billion, that was a massive fine, they were allowed to keep their licence on the basis that they weren't accused of any criminal activity. RBS, therefore, got exactly the same precedent that was set by UBS, and that's how they kept the licence. Otherwise, they'd have had to close down the US operations.
So if it commits another criminal offence in the next couple of years, wow, there's going to be trouble.
Well, they will be committing another offence because they're up for another money laundering fine, similar to the one that Standard Chartered and HSBC has been through in America. But it's because it's very easy to target foreign banks if you're an American regulator.
Is this the end of the matter, in as much as, you know, the bad market abuse that was going on in banks, whether they were mis-selling payment protection insurance, interest rate swaps, trying to fix the market in terms of rigging interest rates? My goodness, the list is large. But I mean, do you think everything is out there now? The process is underway. There's nothing more to come.
I don't think you can be confident in saying that it's all done and dusted. What you can be confident in saying is that everything that occurred is banks behaving badly in the past, and what's happening right now with the change of management in every single bank in Britain is banks will behave better in the future.
OK. Independent analyst Chris Skinner, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on that. Borrow now, pay later. The Institute for Fiscal